Hello, everyone. Good morning to each and every one of you. I'm Myrtle Sarrosa. I'm a cosplayer, an actress, a streamer. And first and foremost, as we start this talk, I just want to say thank you so much for giving me this amazing opportunity to speak in front of you here today. And it means a lot to me. It's quite unfortunate that I'm unable to be there in this room with you all there in San Francisco due to some technical problems with getting my visa in time for the event. It was so sad that I couldn't make the flight in time for this talk, but still, I'm very much happy and grateful that you guys are here today, this morning, for this session. Being a speaker here in GDC is honestly just a dream come true for me as a gamer, as gaming has really impacted my entire life, even how I actually live my life. I've always looked at life like I'm living an MMORPG into which every single problem I deal with every day is like a quest that I need to accomplish. And I was gonna say the joke that it would have been cool to boss raid GDC with my bosses from WeMade, but sadly I can't make that joke now that I'm here in the Philippines still. But today I'm pretty excited to share with you guys an exciting project that I, together with WeMade, have been working on together for the past few months. So it is an innovative system designed to strengthen the connections between fans and creators by utilizing blockchain technology, and it is called the fan tokens. So today, guys, I'm going to be sharing with you how exciting the fan tokens and how fans and of course creators can use this to build a joint blockchain economy where both of them can benefit from each other, as well as my own experiences as the very first content creator to launch your own fan token here into the Wemix Play platform. But before we get into the details, I believe it would be best to first tell you my entire story as how I started in the gaming industry as a pioneer in the cosplay in the Philippines, and also as a content creator, and how I actually ended up in the blockchain gaming space in Southeast Asia, and also helping it grow here in our community, and later on launching our fan token. So hello, everybody. Once again, I'm Myrtle Sarrosa. You can call me Mertz. I'm a TV and film actress here in the Philippines, a host, a public personality. I've starred in a lot of films and TV shows, some even on Netflix. I also won a reality TV show, and I also MC the #1 anime cable channel here in my country and host morning shows and weekend shows that really share and educate, of course, young Filipinos. I also live a double life as, of course, a cosplayer, as I have been recognized as one of the top cosplayers in the world. And recently, I also achieved one of the most important milestones of my life as receiving the award of Top Gaming Content Creator in TikTok Awards Philippines. And in the recent years, I've been working in the gaming space as a part of various marketing campaigns, like working on pretty cool stuff. I had the opportunity last year to write a few songs from my favorite games. So I was able to write a song for Call of Duty Warzone 2.0, for Call of Duty Mobile. So I was able to write the song and it became a hype song for a community here. I also had the amazing opportunity throughout the years to cosplay some of my favorite characters in the games. Some of the skins that haven't even been out yet, I was able to already cosplay it, and even help organize gaming events here in the Philippines and Southeast Asia. And I had the amazing opportunity to work with a lot of amazing games like Mir 4, Mir M, Call of Duty Warzone, Call of Duty Mobile, recently Diablo 4, PUBG Mobile, League of Legends, Ragnarok, just to name a few. So how did I start getting into gaming? So I was 5 years old when I started playing the first game that I ever got into. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it. It was a game called Monster Rancher on my PlayStation. And what I loved the most about it is that you needed to get like CDs and put it inside your PlayStation for it to summon like monsters. And I got super attached to that game and I loved it. I was so sad whenever the monsters would die and pass away, but it was such an important piece of my childhood. And since then, gaming has been an important part of me. So growing up, I got the chance to play a lot of games from Pokemon to MMORPGs like Ragnarok. And I just love that feeling of going into adventures, making new friends along the way, and creating meaningful relationships. This was my kind of gaming. So later on, because of games and because of anime, I became one of the first pioneers of cosplay here in the Philippines. And I won a reality TV show because I was cosplaying day to day. It's called Big Brother. And I know that Big Brother in the United States is like a little scary, but in the Philippines, it's a very wholesome TV show for teenagers. And then I got the chance to also become the host of the #1 anime cable channel in the Philippines for almost a decade. And I also became one of the early Facebook gaming partners as they launched their streaming gaming service here in the Philippines. But gaming and streaming back then has always just been a side hobby for me that I would do whenever I wanted to hang out with my friends or whenever I didn't have work. But then the pandemic came, and it became really hard for us in the entertainment industry to shoot films as there was a huge lockdown here in the Philippines. And one day, as I was just at home and I couldn't do much because of the lockdown, and I couldn't even meet my friends, as I was lost and pretty much alone and frustrated, going back into games became my escape once again, and because of games as well, I got into really competitive MMORPG games, became a guild leader. And because I was like a gamer at heart growing up because of games, I helped a lot of games build their communities even before I became a content creator. And that moment really opened my eyes in the industry of content creation in the gaming space. It was a huge thing back then because everyone was just at home during the pandemic. And just like me, they were looking for someone who they could interact with, play games with, ask questions with. And that situation really influenced my decision to shift my content from, of course, the normal form of entertainment into streaming and rooting my base back again into cosplay and creating content that would be helpful to gamers, as entertainment during the pandemic was a heavy demand. And since then, I've been blessed with so many opportunities to explore various ways of bringing games closer to their community of players. And since I was a part of a lot of guilds and I have made a lot of friends along the way in the games, I was able to get back into streaming and have the amazing opportunity to share my experiences in games and have fun with others through, of course, games. And it was pretty cool because even during the pandemic, I was able to cosplay just last year around like 70 characters from both champions, heroes, and skins that were still new. So now let's talk about how I got into blockchain gaming. Back in 2021 is when I first got introduced to blockchain games by a friend of mine who lost his job because of COVID. When I first heard about it, I was pretty amazed by this concept and idea of earning money through games. I mean, technically, earning through games has already been there for so many years. For example, there's always this player-to-player trading of items for real money, or you could actually get hired as a pilot to assist busy players, or maybe even like help other people rank up by helping them get wins in ranked games, or even playing professionally in an esports team. But what I am referring to exactly is how blockchain technology created a digital economy connected to the real world and paved way for games and opened more opportunity here in gaming, especially during a time when so many people lost their livelihood here in the Philippines because of the pandemic. So in the Philippines, it was such a great time for gamers, even more so for content creators, because the huge demand for content, especially when it comes to dealing with things like cryptocurrencies, NFTs, play and earn games, and basically the blockchain in general, had so much interest. So when I first started streaming, we made Smear 4. There you go. One of the most successful play and earn blockchain games ever created. I have to say that because Mir 4, guys, is based on a game and integrated the blockchain context. Because of Mir 4, I was able to hit my highest viewership ever, which was at 14,000 live viewers, that even peaked to 16,000 live viewers, which was pretty big for a single streamer here. And that was when I streamed about my first experience of a clan war, and we were trying to get a castle, and whichever clan gets the castle actually got mining rights here into the game, because players would mine dark steel, and whoever owned like the castle could get like mining rights from that. And from there, a lot of people got so interested. They were wondering, how did you turn dark steel into Draco, and how could you earn money from the items dropped by the bosses and turn it into digital currency, into real money? And this idea of blockchain sparked so much curiosity for a lot of people here. And more people got interested in diving into it because of opportunities. Although to some of you guys, $2 to $3 per day would be pretty small for playing a game, in the Philippines, it was a huge thing back then because life during the pandemic was so difficult. And from my content, I got the opportunity to be a part of the We Made team by helping them connect themselves to their community, as Philippines was one of the largest player bases of Mir4. Thereafter, we continued to work on several projects, and soon we started to explore more ways on how to utilize the blockchain to further improve the connection between creators, most especially those in the gaming space, and their community. So now let's talk about, where does the fan token come into all of this? So as a content creator, right now, the most common method for followers or their fans to actually support or interact with their favorite content creator is, number one, through donations and, of course, subscriptions. However, this method is a one-way street that very much just limits the expression of support. And usually, the creator is the one at the receiving end. But what if we can make something that could benefit the followers as well as the creator? And that is why we released or launched the fan token. The very first fan token is called the Myrtle fan token, and it has sturdy tokenomics that transcends all these limitations and make a community formation that is more fun and more dynamic. So to better explain this, I'll try to make it more simple. So for instance, we have Steve here, who is a viewer and a follower of Myrtle. Being a hardcore supporter that he is, he acquired the token by, of course, maybe purchasing it or received it as a gift as he was watching or joined the community events hosted by myself. And now Steve is a token holder. Now the question is, what can he do with the token that he is holding? First and foremost, he can donate the token directly to Myrtle on the WeMix Play platform to, of course, express his support and even send a message along with it. And what I'm very much proud of is that his message would also appear if I am live streaming on that point in time. So I think this is the very first time that any blockchain project has incorporated the shout out function during a live broadcast. So this is very fun and interesting to try out. Second, another utility that I am very proud of as a game is that you can also trade it for other tokens that are available in the WeMix Play platform. For instance, if one day he needed Draco tokens, Hydra tokens in Mir4, or drone tokens in Mir-M, he can actually exchange these tokens into the game tokens within the WeMix Play platform. There's so many games that you guys can actually play and exchange the tokens into, which creates so much value for our token. So now not only can Steve use the tokens as a way to express his love and support to Myrtle as his favorite content creator, but also use it for games that he plays and that Myrtle plays. And isn't that very fun and very convenient? And similarly, it's also the same way. So what if you farmed like a lot of tokens from the games that you play? You can also convert it into Myrtle tokens to show support and join my community. So thirdly, since the fan tokens are, of course, built on blockchain technology, it is also used as identification to ensure authenticity. So recently, we were able to launch the communication platform Papyrus, which you can actually communicate with members who hold the same tokens as you in the same community. So right now in Papyrus, we actually have a chat for those who hold a one Myrtle token. You can enter my chat, send me a message together with everyone else in the community. And because it's verified by, of course, cryptocurrencies into the blockchain, this is something very unique and very helpful, even for other Web3 communities who wants to start out. So it asks people to be a holder before you can actually get in. So unlike other usual fan subscription services where you actually pay monthly subs and pay the creator through a middleman and where you have to pay per month, here Steve still actually holds his token and he can also exchange it to other cryptocurrencies right away. But what's also good about this is that when the token's value increases, you never lose your cryptocurrency. You still have that access to, of course, my limited content. And of course, if it decreases, it's not really sent anywhere as payment. You're still holding it and you can still make use of it through, of course, our token utilities. And lastly is, of course, the token's blockchain utility. Steve can also use that token to trade or sell to other tokens and potentially earn money from it. So right now, if you actually put it into our liquidity pool, you actually get rewarded a portion of the transaction fee generated from each and every swap. So these are just a few utilities of the fan token, and there's so much more opportunities for, of course, Steve or the token holder and myself to interact within the community that we have built together. So for example, I can also hold live event greets. So that is only accessible for those who are token holders. We can also have an exclusive event where you guys can play with me as I stream. And lastly, token holders can also have the opportunity to decide what type of content I make next. So with these, the simple traditional method of community engagement could turn into a joint economic community where both the fans and creators can experience benefits. So now let's get into the tokenomics of course, the Myrtle fan tokens on the WeMixLay platform. So when we started off with this, we started with an initial pool of 1,000 tokens where each token was equal to one WeMix dollar, which were swapped into a 1-to-1 ratio. After the initial supply, more tokens were minted only once it reached the high water mark. For instance, if our 24-hour time-weighted average price of the token exceeds its previous high, another 1,000 tokens will be minted, and these minted tokens will be deposited into a transparent vault where everyone can see the balance and everyone can see all the withdrawal history. And ultimately, since of course Myrtle is a decentralized fan token, the total supply will only be determined, of course, by the community's demands. And the tokenomics will help not only the creator, but the fans build a correlation and develop a healthy relationship built on trust. So now let's talk about my entire experience. So when I first heard about all of this, and when I was asked to be the very first content creator to release it, I was super excited because I saw its value and I know that it could be I know that it would be a huge game changer in the community building and era of content creators. But at the same time, I know that since it's new, it's going to be a nerve-wracking experience because I know it would be a challenging journey as it's just a beginning of something new. And that feeling of honestly uncertainty comes from the fact that I and myself, we're all experienced in the blockchain space and blockchain and Web3 gaming space. But of course, we were all new to the concept of fan tokens. And it was overwhelming and a little nerve-wracking for me. But since our preparation, it went smoother than expected. And it's all thanks to, of course, the guidance of the entire WeMix team. And most especially my team also, who worked countless hours to make this entire launch a success. I was really happy because a lot of the community here in the Philippines were very supportive of this new journey. Like a lot of newspapers actually reported about it. And during this entire journey, I also got the opportunity to speak with Sir Rob Saya, the business head of WeMade's Business Creative Center, and we had a very special AMA, and we received a lot of questions from our members of the community, from my fans in gaming, cosplay, even in entertainment, blockchain in general. And we wanted to start this off with a giveaway into which we were able to airdrop Oh gosh. So we actually received 17 million total entries in our airdrop, and we were able to airdrop 200,000 WeMix to over 1,000 participants. So currently, the Myrtle token is valued at $4 per token, with, of course, 360 holders, and we actually received hundreds of donations since its launch. Our launch was a huge success. However, it is also undeniable that we're still faced with a lot of challenges that we are still overcoming. For instance, we noticed that there's a lot of members of the community who are interested to be a part of the community, but are still not yet that knowledgeable when it comes to, of course, cryptocurrencies. So we were working on educating them with more content on how to actually get into it. And we're also working hard on creating high quality content and perks for holders and, of course, donors. With the recent launch of the communication platform Papyrus, where it's now easier to, of course, maintain a closer communication with, of course, my fans and also token holders for future projects. So as we wrap up, in our quest to revolutionize the methods of community engagement through, of course, innovation in the blockchain technology, we are still facing far bigger challenges that I have mentioned earlier. And I know that it will be challenging and it won't be easier. However, like I said, we are gamers, so we always like to overcome all these quests and slay those bosses. And we are confident that we can make it happen. So hopefully this new form of tokenomics can bring about a positive change, not only to gaming content creators who want to connect with their fans on a deeper level, but also to the entire gaming community. And I just want to say thank you again for the entire We Made team. And of course, our CEO, Sir Henry Chang, to Mr. Rob Seo, to Sir Steve, to Hazel, and the entire We Made team, and to everyone in this room. Thank you so much for giving me this once in a lifetime experience. And now that we've talked about the fan tokens, I'm welcoming the floor for more questions. And apologies in case I can't hear you guys properly. So do let me know if there are any questions here.
Yes, if you have questions, feel free to ask questions to Myrtle.
There are no, oh, there's someone coming. Okay. I can't see you guys, but I feel your energy from 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, my name is BJ. I'm a co-founder of a blockchain dev, more on the application side company. And I guess my question to you is, because you come from non-blockchain background, so do you have a large team helping you on the technology side? How big is your team who helps you in all this?
Oh, yes, of course. So thank you so much. I wasn't able to get your name, but thank you very much to our friend here in the audience for coming up with, of course, your questions. I know it's hard to come up on stage to ask. So on the technology side, of course, I'm actually supported by Sir Steve, and of course, the business creative side of the entire We Made team, headed by Sir Rob Seo. They actually taught me all that I needed in the tech side of things, and they were able to support me very, very well in this experience. Hello? Do let me know if there's other questions. I think that's the, oh, and thank you again for that member of the audience.
Hi, my name is Krishna. I'm from Amazon. I'm trying to understand this tokenization. You're saying that you have a network built up which can allow you to exchange these tokens. Can you elaborate a bit on how these tokens are exchanged, and do they lose value, or how do people, get into this particular network or exchange of yours?
So I'm just waiting for someone to type in the question. I just want to say thank you to Christian from Amazon. So his question is, he wants to understand the tokenization, if there is a network, and elaborate on the token and how it is exchanged. Okay. So thank you again, Christian, for this question. So for this, As I mentioned earlier, we started off with 1,000 tokens, and it is 1:1. So the value of the token is actually dependent upon the exchanges, of course, within the community. In our first day of launch, it exceeded all our expectations as well. And every time the TWAP gets reached, we would be minting more tokens. But what we have learned from this entire experience is that the content creator actually has that valuable role of holding the vault. And through this experience, I tried my very, very best to just maintain the value of the token. So right now, I have to honestly say we're very blessed that my entire community has been very supportive. We are at $4 from the $1 that it started off with. And right now, what we're doing is to actually increase more utilities for it to continue and maintain its value. So right now, it's very interesting that every one person that holds one token can join my community. So right now, it's driving more interest from those of my viewers who actually wants to come and join the communities. I think it would also be very helpful for those who want to launch their own Web3 games, because eventually, if, like, for example, communities, chats in the communities would require wallet verifications to get into those communities, and it would be very much helpful as well. So this fan token, tokenomics, and of course utilities will not only be used by content creators, but eventually even other Web3 games. And I'm pretty excited to share that entire experience with you all as well. And sorry again if I can't hear you guys properly. And thank you so much for that question, Christian.
Are there any more questions? Okay, thank you for such an interesting presentation, Myrtle. And I hope it has been helpful for creators and fans who had interest in fan token. Thank you all for participating in our session today.
Thank you very much again to our community manager. And thank you, everyone. If you guys have other questions, please do feel free to send me a message at Myrtle Gail or Myrtle Sarrosa on my on Instagram, Twitter, or over on Facebook. I would love to talk to you all more and get connected with you guys. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day. Thank you so much again to VMade and to GDC for this amazing opportunity.